So you go to your doctor, you are tired, you're exhausted, and you go and you tell them your complaints, you have blood work done, and you hear one of these three phases. Your blood work is normal, it's just stressed, or you're getting older. A little bit frustrating, especially if you still don't feel well, right? I get it, I understand it. However, I don't want to pretend that those things could be true. Maybe you did have a thorough panel and things look normal. We are all getting older. We live in a fallen world, and it could be stress. We like to pretend, I think, a lot of times that stress does not affect our health, especially our physical health, but it has a huge impact on our health. So, I want to give you an example. If you were to become a patient with compassion primary care, one of the things that I do all the time, and I have spoken about this before on several YouTube videos, is that if someone comes to me, I am doing a thorough workup. If you're coming to me and complaining of exhaustion, one of the things that I look at is your thyroid. So when we're talking about doing a proper thyroid evaluation, that involves more than just looking at TSH, which is thyroid stimulating hormone. If we just look at that, that just tells me your brain is functioning. Praise the Lord for that. But it does not tell me what's going on with your thyroid. So in addition to that, I'm looking at free T3, free T4. Free T3 is actually the working part of the thyroid hormone. It is what is going to the receptor site at the cellular level and causing you to have energy, causing your hair to look good, causing your skin not to be dry, regulating your heart rate. Thyroid controls so much in our body, right? But then I'm also looking at what we call reverse T3. If we see that climbing, especially in proportion to free T3, I'm getting concerned about underlying things such as, again, chronic stress, infections, and several other things can cause that to increase. I am also looking for thyroid antibodies because, unfortunately, especially in women, especially when we're in that middle age time of our life, people start to develop thyroid antibodies, and that can lead to Hashimoto's thyroid disease, or it can lead to Graves' disease. And you're really not going to know if this is present without checking it. And so I do look for those. And it is possible, especially with Hashimoto's, which is much more common than Graves', for you to have a pretty decent TSH, maybe a pretty decent free T4, okay, free T3, and you do have antibodies. So if I don't check that, I am missing out on that. You are missing out on that. I'm not really serving you well. In addition to anyone that I am concerned about their thyroid and I get abnormal numbers, I am either doing a 4-point cortisol saliva test or a dried urine test to get an idea of what is going on with your cortisol level. So cortisol is known as our fight or flight hormone here in Florida. You know, you go outside, you see an alligator, because of that cortisol surge. Hey, you might sit down and fight it, create yourself a little purse, or run. I'd probably run. But seriously, that's what cortisol is there to do. It helps us to manage stress. It helps to regulate our immune system. Cortisol is a great hormone when it is kept in balance. However, due to things like chronic stress or underlying inflammation or gut issues, our cortisol level can become off, and that will inhibit proper production of our thyroid hormone. It will affect our sex hormones, such as estrogen or estradiol, progesterone. So I'm not really doing a proper workup on my patient if I'm not looking at these things. And again, with me, it's more optimal range. So it's not just going and looking at that lab value given to you, which is basically averages of the population, and saying you're fine. I'm listening to what it is that you're telling me, listening to your symptoms, looking at your labs, and then we're coming up with a plan. So usually with my patients, TSH, I prefer it to be between 1 and 2. Free T4 somewhere around 1.4, 1.5. Free T3 at least 3.5. And I would prefer to see no thyroid antibodies on your labs, but that's something that we could watch and based on your symptoms. But that is what I'm talking about. That You truly cannot say somebody is doing well and everything is fine. It's just stress if you're not really looking and investigating thoroughly with your patient. So that's what you'll get if you come to me as a patient with Compassion Primary Care. So I am Stasha-Gae Roberts, nurse practitioner, founder of Compassion Primary Care. I'm also BHRT certified and a U.S. Army veteran. Thank you for taking the time to view this video. Please like and share it with others. And if this is you, I do free discovery calls. You'll be talking to me. I also have a guide. The link is in the bio that if you want to fill out the information, download it, see if it's just one thing or if it's many things pointing you in a certain direction. And then we can do the discovery call. That's fine. It's free to you. It doesn't cost you anything. But I am here to assist you in nursing your journey to lasting wellness. And I like to say to anybody, you do not have to prove that you are struggling here. I am here to help you. No, we're not going to recreate your 20s or your 30s, but this does not have to be your new normal also. So be blessed. Thank you again. Bye-bye.